Okay, so we've gotten some initial traction on our first ads. And so if we want to go from, let's say we're at $100 a day right now, say we're starting to kind of push $200 a day with the audiences we just built. If we want to go to $500 a day, it's actually quite easy. We could honestly do it with the things we're already doing. So here's the 3 places where I suggest you try. But I want to cover one thing. Your tracking is going to become even more important now because we're breaking out of the surefire places and getting into places where it might not work. But these should work. These should have like an 80% success ratio. The more we scale, the lower the success ratio we're willing to accept. So for example, when we're scaling past like $3,000 a day, it's completely cool if that new ad set we launched at $100 a day completely fails. It's okay if like 1 out of 3 succeeds. That's just fine. Okay, that's the price of finding a winning audience. But let's go and keep this really simple. So right now we got placements and we got very targeted keywords. So the easiest thing we could do right now, is we can go set up basic click retargeting. We can go set up basic opt-in retargeting. We can go also from super targeted keywords to broad keywords. We can go with our placements and go to 2 directions. We can add more of hyper-relevant placements or go to more targeted placements. Or we can make very targeted intent audiences. This is where we're going to scale to. This is enough to get you to 30, 50,000 a month, probably 100,000 a month profit. You can just play with these areas right here. So I want to talk about these. Now, I'm not going to go through each ad campaign and build it right in front of you again, because you get the gist. We copy, we paste, we adjust. And I want to stress, before we start doing this, you should have dropped your CPL significantly by finding your Uber promise, getting your best optimized opt-in using Improvely, and then you should have really go back at this time before we think about doing that and film 5 more ads around this that you think are a lot better. Make better everything so that when we get to this point right here, when we're going from $200 to $500 a day, we're doing it with the best possible car possible. So let's talk about all of these. Basic physical retargeting. Person clicks your ad, goes to your opt-in page. Let's just keep retargeting them. But what if the person opts in? Who cares? This is fine. I run this ad audience all the time. It does great. So we're just going to go make another ad audience right here, maybe at $30 to $50 a day, targeting people that landed on your page. Now, you should have, when we talked about creating audiences, gone and created an audience manager of people that visited your opt-in. So if this is my opt-in right here, alexbecker.org/Shopify broad, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to make myself a good old custom audience. Actually, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to remarketing, and I'm going to go to plus, and I'm going to go to website visitors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an audience, visited 540 days. I'm going to slap this guy in there. Now, you might want to do 30 days in this case, but I'm going to do 540 right here. 30 days might be best for you. In fact, I'm just going to do 30 days just for you. Because if a person clicks on your ad, they're probably interested. They just didn't opt in at that time. So let's clean up right here. This is an easy audience to clean up with, and you know the person's already interested because they clicked. So what we're going to do is we're going to go create a rule. Visited page contains your URL. But what I like to do is I like to take the end of it, because sometimes things can get crisscrossy, and so I like to take just the gist of it and put this right here. So if it contains this, this is the page. Slap it in there. Let's go. We're going to run ads to that audience right there. Boom. All right, we're going to create the audience, name the audience, so it'd be visited 30, and when we're going and creating our ads, we're just going to go grab that audience out of the retargeting area in the ad, target that. That's it. Okay, make sure to put your tracking on it like we did before. Next thing we're going to do, opt-in retargeting. Everyone that opted in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create an audience of people, and it's actually already going to get created for you. Okay, there's going to be all converters inside your system. So when we go to Audience Manager, you're going to have this already made. Somewhere in the system, I'm just going to go and actually search for it. All converters. this will already be done for you. Okay, so we're just going to target that, and there you go. That's going to be everybody that opted in. Now, we can go and create this audience manually as well by going to add an audience, going to website visitors, and then people who, and we can do visitors of a page. What we're going to do is we're just going to put our thank you. What we're going to do is just put our thank you page URL right here. Again, I like removing a little chunk of it, so it's just the actual end page right there, which is fine unless you have 16 different pages with the same exact text, which don't do that. Don't be a crazy person. And there you go. This will be everybody that's opted in recently. But what if they attended the event or something? It's fine. Just I literally just run this and hit them over the head over and over and again with the same ad because I want to keep them opting in. If they opt in, they're usually only going to attend at like 20, 30% if they're on mobile phone. Usually close to 20%. So most of the time, I'm pretty safe just running this there. Get them to opt in again, get them to opt in again. Remember, if we get 1,000 people to opt in and 10 of them buy, we're doing amazing. There's going to be 990 people that didn't buy. It's not like running this ad to those 10 people is going to destroy your funnel. So just relax, make an opt-in audience. I don't put another $30 to $50 a day on that. Easy wins. Those are going to be such easy wins. Now, broad keywords. What would we want to do with our keywords, especially if those other keywords got traction? We would go and duplicate it and just make it simpler. So we have sell course keywords. What we can do is we would type in other types of keywords that might be more related. So we could try softwares of other companies. We could try other things that are really broad. We could try things that we think our market is doing. But I would only go and start going in those types of areas and those types of directions once you've exhausted every option. So for example, if I had my original keyword was how to make money with Shopify, I'd just do Shopify. Okay? If I was doing like how to make money on Amazon, I'd just do Amazon FBA. Okay? If my original keyword was like makeup training, I'd just do makeup. I just dumb the keyword down a little bit. And then we could take that one audience to $500 a day. No problem. Okay, that's when we're really going to start doing well right there. We just make a big old giant keyword right there. Now we could also go and do other things. Like for example, since with Iron and B2B, you have to get a little bit more creative because the audiences aren't going to be huge. So I need to think about what software, what sites, what tools would my target be using. A lot of people that need to be in Iron would be searching for ClickFunnels. So I just put in ClickFunnels. Because a lot of those people are building funnels and high ticket shit. I go look at businesses that are selling something similar to what I want to sell. So Dan Locke's selling high ticket training. Dan Henry's selling high ticket training. Sam Ovens selling high ticket training. That's what I'd want to do for B2B. Okay? Now, for example, if I was targeting specific businesses like chiropractors or something like that. So what I'd look at that is like chiropractor training, techniques, clients. All right, I'd kind of throw in a bunch of keywords right here because these are going to be hit and miss. I've said before, don't do multiple keywords, but it's going to be a little bit screwy right there. Okay, so that's going to be pretty good for you as well when it comes to keywords. Now, also, if we were doing that, you kind of have to start getting a little bit creative right here. Chiropractor course online. You know, like we're gonna have to go because we're gonna be hitting a few little weird things. So you might want to do chiropractor schools. You might want to find influencers who are chiropractors that like other chiropractors listen to. That's where you're gonna want to kind of go with that. I'm gonna show you one other technique you can use at this level that could also work. And I wouldn't suggest doing this too much right here. But you can see like we got American Chiropractic Association. So what we can do sometimes, and I'm going to warn you, this could be very hit and miss, is we can also go and grab a website like this one and then go and look at maybe who is popping up. It's going to be very hit and miss, so we need to check this before we do it. So I'm going to go to audiences. Let's go add an audience, select ad group. And so you see, we kind of have to start brainstorming here. It's not always going to be as simple, especially in B2B where we have to get kind of creative. Okay? So we're going to go and do a custom affinity audience. We're going to get custom affinity, and we're going to add what right here? We're going to go put in this URL. I'm actually just going to do ACA today right here. All right, now I'm going to hit get estimate from this. I want to see kind of what it's targeting. Okay, see, like we're not really getting anything useful right here. Okay, so this isn't exactly great. Because a lot of times what it does in an affinity audiences, and so you really want to look at the estimates that it gives you. So I'm putting in a surgical site right here. Okay, so look at this one right here, scientific equipment, pharmaceutical, biotech, science. This right here could be a potential audience, but we'd really want to test with this. We'd really want to test with this. This is not usually the best thing to be doing, sub $500 a day, but we could try it out. Okay, with B2B, you have to get a little bit more creative, and you have to find out where they're hanging out at. Now, I'll be showing you a little trick a little bit later on for B2B, which comes with generating your own audience, but it's definitely not a it's a more creative technique. I'll show you how that works a little bit later on. And so you can see what we can do is we can start branching into other related keywords, or keywords that are related to the niche, more broad keywords, which would be, you know, just a bigger version of your keyword, influencers, tools they use. These are going to be really good ones for you. And then maybe related markets. So if I'm doing Shopify, I can target SEO. And I would look more at the intent, like make money online would be too broad at this point. I'd do SEO, maybe e-commerce training, just related markets where where your customer might be hanging out at. Amazon FBA. And then what I would also do is start moving into really key placements. So what do we got right here? In the last one, first off, just go and try and get as many placements as you can with your keyword in it. All right, with your niche in it. Then start going on channels that talk about the placement. So for example, if I was doing Shopify, I go place it on Kevin David's channel. I go place it on any videos I can find that are about making money online. We want to max out placements as far as we can go. So if I was doing makeup, I would do makeup tutorials, how to improve your skin, skincare. I just go and start placing it everywhere. Some niches have massive amounts of placements, and you could literally scale to $1,000 a day just using placements. Some niches don't. So it just depends. The niches are always a little bit different. And so I go and place it on any channel that's relevant to what I'm doing. And those are usually going to work. So I place it on SEO channels, I place it on influencers channels, I place it on channels that are talking about making money online, I place it on videos that are talking about making money on Instagram. Anywhere if I have a Make Money Online course, that's where I'd go and place these placements at. Finally, intent. Intent audiences are really broad, so this is actually really easy. When we go and do intent, when we're setting up this audience right here, what we'd want to do is we go and make a custom intent audience, and we just put our keyword right here. Shopify. Maybe Shopify training. Create. We'd create that, then we have this audience right here. Throw that in, just leave it on its own. And you don't want to go crazy with your intents. Okay, don't go crazy with your intents. Just do the most basic ones out there. You can easily, if you're targeting your basic keyword in most niches, you can scale that easily to $500 a day right there. This stuff right here is more than enough to get you to $500 to $2,000 a day actually. So you want to keep playing with this. But the key is that you keep checking it. Whenever you have a sale come in or calls, make sure you then go into your tracking and confirm where they came from. Kill ones that are losing you money, okay? Kill ones that are losing you money. So for example, this one right here only got me one call for $200. I can clearly see, oh, maybe I don't want to run that. Maybe I don't want to run that ad. So you're going to keep coming through your tracking every other day Okay, you might want to look at, you usually want to look when you're doing a webinar about over 3 to 4 days. If you're doing the SC funnel, you can do a day at a time if you want, but usually about 3 days at a time. Go through and say, where am I winning at? Okay, great. And then find your losers and turn them off ASAP, because that comes straight out of your profit margin. And do that. Now, how long should we run an ad before we kill it? It's kind of up to you. With webinar ads for me on a 2K funnel, I'll probably go for about 1,000, but I'm usually looking for a good CPL. Usually a good CPL is a sign that it will probably work. If the CPLs are like 50 bucks, it's not going to work. If the CPLs are at like $5, $8, I'm going to let it run for a bit. I might even let it run past $2,000, because you never know. But usually about $1,000 is about where I'll let it run to. If you're doing lower, you probably want to go wait till about $500. You want to wait till you're really making money from those core audiences. That's what I'm going to do. Now, on a sales call funnel, it's about what you're willing to pay for a call. You should have a few conversions and a few calls that have come in that you converted. So if you see that you got a $5,000 sale off of like 3 calls that cost you $400, that's wonderful. Just keep going. Just keep going. But if you're saying that your calls are converting very low, and you're probably going to say, oh man, I want to not invest in any ad sets where I'm getting calls for less than $200. And as you start collecting more calls, it's still a little bit early to do this. As you start collecting more calls, you want to start looking at the ad sets that are actually generating you calls. So this one I can see right here, oh, this person came in straight from this ad right here. This is everything that came from. I definitely want to be scaling this ad set. Okay? Because you might see some ad sets where you're paying $500 a call, but the conversions are much higher. This is why you have to have tracking with this. And so this is how you cut and start growing from there. Now, at this point in time, you have everything you need to scale to $1,000 a day. You have everything you need. There is absolutely nothing else you need to get to $1,000, even $2,000 a day. You don't need to be doing any crazy affinity audiences or some demographic breakdown or doing anything nuts. You don't need to be doing any of that. It's going to auto-optimize around the people that you're targeting. Even if you're in makeup and you're targeting women, it's going to optimize the women that are watching that video. You don't need to go in there and set your demographics and be like, oh, don't target women. Just let the optimization do that for you. You might even get some guys. You might optimize the guys that are going to come in. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. This is where we're probably going to leave the ads off. I'm going to talk about some really hyper ROI methods in the rest of this section, but at this point in time, in the next video, I'll talk about scaling from, $2,000 a day plus, but we're actually just going to require you to check in with Jack and actually show it, because I don't want to show you the things when it comes to scaling past that unless you're ready for that, because it's just going to ruin your ads. It's just going to mess up your ads. This is all you need to do, okay? This is all I do to generate multiple 6 figures and high-ROAS sales and multiple 6 figures in iron. This is it. Like this is all there is to it. I've talked about in this course so many times, it's about the business structure and the product. If you get those right, you're done at this point. This is enough to become a millionaire. I must stress that. This is enough to make over $1 million a year. You don't have to do anything crazy. The crazy stuff was done before this. Congratulations, you've done the crazy stuff. The ads are the easy part. Okay? So I'm going to talk about some really ninja methods for the rest of this section, and this is everything you need to become a millionaire. This is everything you need to scale to 7 figures. You don't need to do anything else crazy. Okay? Turn off everything else, just do this and ask me questions in the group. So let's talk about a few more things in this section, particularly some organic methods, some ninja methods we can do, some crazy things. But you don't need to do any of those either. They're just going to be gee whiz information for you. This is what you need to be doing.